I want you to change the world, and don't think that this is going to happen peacefully or you can do it alone. We need to kill the rich. You get out there, you use your weapons, and you rip Washington apart. You hunt down the billionaires, the bank bosses, the CEOs, the scumbags and the liars, the governors, the lobbyists, the senators, because they're all the same, and you hang them.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's February 2nd, 2021. I'm Eric. Sorry about the couple missed days. I try to do one every day, but sometimes I do a video and I don't like what I said, or I worry that what I said might come off wrong, so I don't upload it. And that's the case a lot of times. But, I've been doing other kinds of work. I haven't been really reading articles too much the last couple of days. But one thing I'm seeing in comment sections and whatnot is this new HR 217, I believe it is. I might be wrong on that, but I believe it's that or something like that, right? Well, basically, this is from what I understand, and which don't amount to shit. But in a nutshell, we got people worried about this gun bill, or what's in this bill that has to do with guns. And here's my thing. Why do you care? Why do you care? Why do you care what's in their legislation? What does it actually mean to you? I ask this because, does that mean you intend on complying if they demand that you turn in your weapons? Is that what your plan is? Because that's the only way this gun law would mean shit to you, is if you intend on complying with the demand. This after the American public has spent multiple billions of dollars on weapons, guns specifically, and ammo. So, the brilliant plan is to buy all these weapons and then worry yourself sick whether or not the government will come in and confiscate your weapons. Well, that's not the only thing they want to confiscate. They want to take everything from you, not just your weapons. The confiscation of your weapons is so they can take everything else from you without any resistance, or minimal, right? And in my opinion, and look, this is coming from somebody who has never burdened themselves with whether or not I was breaking law or not. I don't care. I don't care if I'm breaking the law. You see? So to me, when they put these bills up, it doesn't matter to me. That's on you. That's on you because you put your faith and your tax money and your votes and all that into a system that was corrupt from day one. Day one. So you have a bigger, I guess, share to care about in this fight than I do. I've never believed in the system. I've never gave a shit what the laws are. If I'm following a law, it's simply by my own free will. I just don't give a shit if something's illegal or not illegal. I don't care. So, and the point is this. You're going to have to decide. You're going to have to decide whether you're going to say, oh, okay, the government made a law. Suddenly it's wrong for me to have this weapon. And now I got to do the right thing, but which it's not. It's just the legal thing. Okay? I got to do the legal thing according to a group of people that really don't want you to be able to have anything, private property of any kind. Okay? And by acquiescing the way we have as a nation, when it came to these masks and other things that were done, the next logical step, if you're an authoritarian, is to move forward with any nefarious plans, because you've already found out that you have a mostly docile population. Yeah, you do have a few people, right, that won't comply. And what I mean by few, it's in the millions, but there's no one at the helm. There's no organization, and well, it's just not going to work unless there is some element of cooperation, organization among the people. You know, kind of like those dudes did on Reddit when they organized that whole thing with GameStop. You notice how they became awfully bad sports when they got beat at their own fucking game. You notice that, right? So, let's say, I'm going to show you a comment here. This guy said, why is this guy dressed like an Antifa thug? Do I really dress like an Antifa thug? Really? Would it make people feel better if I wore a suit and tie when I made videos like this? Would that make you feel warm and fuzzy inside? Not gonna happen. Will never fucking happen. But it brings a good question to mind. At least my mind. Is if you were a person who had control over a group of people that are roughly the same size, in number, how many people you can get together. Let's just say, for argument, okay, there's a big protest going down, right? And this is if you want to make maximum impact, a maximum statement, understand. But let's just say you are one of the Antifa leaders, and you've decided, well, goddamn, we're going to bring this shit to the next level. What would I do to do that? All right, well, I would organize the groups, right? There would be, say we have 1,000 people at a march. 1,000 people. We have one group of people specifically there to grab the injured members before they get captured by the other side. That'd be their only job, is to sit there, and any of the weapon bearers, when they get injured, they go out, grab that motherfucker, and drag them off before the other side drags them off. So there's 1,000 people, and I would give them about 100 people for that task. About 100 people. And then I would get people that were good with bows and arrows, and I would stand them in the back line. As a matter of fact, I would probably have them people sort of hidden and spread out. Right. And I wouldn't be using guns necessarily. Don't get me wrong, I'm a gun guy, but there's something to be said for a few hundred arrows or bolts coming at you. In my opinion, it's a much more brutal, more brutal weapon. So I would have a few hundred guys like that. And since the police like using shields, I would have a phalanx of shield guys, and they would have bladed weapons. I mean, and of course, you would have your hidden people that are the ones holding the firearms, right? So you start off with your shield guys. They go in, they clash with them, they stick them fucking spears or machetes or whatever it is they have into the guts of some motherfucker, and they drop. Well, at that point, they're going to start getting fired on. Maybe even sooner. Then you have your archers and do like they did in the day, and start opening up on that with them arrows. We don't necessarily have to have guns to have a victorious battle. But if you combine all those elements together and you divide your guys up into different regiments, and you use what's that maneuver called? It's right at the, if you use a flanking maneuver, let that flank come out of nowhere. Don't use it with the guys that are seen. Don't do it with the guys that are seen. You have guys off a few blocks away, and then you call them in. So, am I an Antifa thug? Come on. Come on. I dress like this because I live in a place where I blend in with my environment with this. If I were to go out back into my woods and stand still next to a bush or a tree, you wouldn't see me. I wear my hood because it obscures my face. There's a reason for everything I do. Everything. Including the way I dress. I don't give a fuck if you can only take people in suits and ties seriously, then man, you're one of the biggest problems we have. Because those people, the people that dress like that and work for government and as attorneys and doctors, they're kind of sleazy scumbags. And I don't want to be associated with that type of look for that reason. But am I a thug? Well, I guess if you label me a thug because I don't take seriously the edicts of people who are clearly our enemy, then I'm a thug. But if you mean, do I go around robbing people and shooting and just doing bad stuff? No, I don't do that. I don't do that. If I have a gun, it will be the absolute last tool I use. First, I'll use my mouth, and if that doesn't work, then I'll use it a little more, with a little more force. If that doesn't work, then we get into heated conflict. And of course, in order for me to break out any kind of weapon, let alone a gun, I have to be in peril. It's got to be obvious that this person has the intent, or people have the intention of attacking me and possibly killing me before I'd even consider going there. Can you say the same thing for your beloved law enforcement whose asses you lick every chance you get? Can you? Can you say the same for any of the government agencies? Sheriff's departments? No. So, I'm a lot more disciplined about when to use a weapon than a government agent, a cop. Who's the thug? I think it's the person who takes it to the level where weapons are needed. That's the thug. Not me. Then we got people like this, guys. I mean, this is serious. People like these. I love government. First thing from Joanne and Tomas's 4 days ago on the DHS terrorist bulletin video. I think maybe Joanne is very, very lacking in her understanding of what exactly she loves. If you can name for me a single government in the history of humankind that hasn't been, say, less than decent to their people, if not outright tyrannical, give me one example. One. But for that one example, I can give you easily hundreds of others to the contrary. You love the wrong people if you love government. And she goes on to say, not corporate. There's a big difference. Well, I don't think so. I don't think there's a big difference between a corporation and the government. I mean, if you look at our government, that's exactly what it is. It's set up like a corporation. And most of them are. They got their head person, the CEO, the president of the company, right? Then you got the vice president, and then you got all the little different bureaucrats beneath them. And I asked, why do you love government? Can you articulate any of them? And I typoed there, and she said, well, the idea of an honest constitution that works for the people. Well, wasn't that exactly what the Constitution of 1776 was supposed to be about? Let me ask you something. How's a constitution going to do anyone any good if the people, from the day that was written forward, refused to defend it every time it was breached and say, no, that's not what we were guaranteed. You're breaking your own laws. We cannot have that. No. One infringement led to another infringement, and that infringement led to, well, where we're at today. Compromise killed Rome, and compromise has killed America. The economy's not coming back. We are on a downward spiral and have been for quite a long time. So, I wouldn't be putting any of my faith into these people that you love bringing the economy back. And to be honest with you, I would not be surprised if them stimulus checks dried up real fast, especially for those people who are not going to take that fucking toxic DNA changing vaccine. Anyway, thought I'd talk to you all about this, just chatting. I hope you all have a great day, and until next time, kill the state, live free.